This presentation is on using the QCTerm Quizzer. Depending on your computer, you may need to hit the page up or down key, the enter key, or the space button to advance the slides. This is a great management tool for use in managing large groups of employees and small groups of employees. Enjoy the presentation and be prepared to take the quiz which follows. QCTerm Quizzer has many potential uses. It can be used to quiz team members on important subject matter or to refresh team members on important points that are essential to doing their job properly, or to gauge retention of points which were made in huddles or meetings, or simply to reinforce existing training, job fundamentals, or areas needing reinforcement. The QCTerm Quizzer is located in the System area. Type SY in as the function code at the earliest screen you get when you enter the car hop or UAC system. Please note, you may enter at a different screen, but you should still have the option of entering SY as the function code. Go ahead and enter 74 as the function code here. 74 is where it's at. Pick the appropriate action and use either a new quiz number or test ID or an existing one if you are looking to change, delete, or inquire. Here are some examples of quiz numbers, also known as test IDs by QCTerm. Please understand the logic behind the numbering and ID system. Retrieval of the quiz results is dependent on knowing the ID or quiz number. Here are some examples of quiz numbers and test IDs. The very first UAC quiz for UAC managers would have a test ID of 2101. The second such quiz would have a test ID of 2102. The first sales test or quiz for non-managers in sales would have an ID of 3201. For sales new hires, the first test would have an ID of 3301. Remember, keeping track of these quiz and test IDs is essential as retrieval of results is dependent on knowing the ID and quiz number. You should assign a category to the quiz. Here we elected the category of Special People. The quiz setup and explanation page. Naming the quiz and setting some parameters such as, do you want the quiz takers to get instant feedback? That is, do you want them to see the answer immediately after they have submitted it? Do you want to require a minimum score? Any other explanations or tips for the quiz being created can also be listed out here. There are options for each individual question. What type of question is it? If it's fill in the blank, be sure to mark NA in the correct answer field. Here's an example of a true-false question. As you can see, you can have different types of questions within the same quiz or test. Using a yes question, as illustrated, could even be used simply to reinforce a point. Widgets, whatchamacallits, they're all the same to me. Here's an example of a question to see if anyone knows what our goals are. Once the questions are finished, you need to assign the quiz or test to an individual, a group, or part of a group. Follow the screenshots above. It's as simple as it looks. The due date for taking the quiz or test is always required. The field Optional Selection Criteria is used if you want to automate assignment to a group or partial group of employees. Here's an example of assigning a quiz to a specific employee or employees. Notice I have an N in the Optional Selection Criteria field since I'm not going to be assigning it to a group. While I'm at it, I'm going to invite M. Bauer along with 3 of his favorite buddies. But wait, only one name pops up, which indicates the 3 buddies must no longer be with the company or perhaps have their user ID typed wrong. I'm guessing these 3 characters are no longer with the company. Go back through the T option and delete the incorrect users by spacing over their user IDs. You'll see them disappear. almost Disney-like or magical, if you will. Double checking is always a good idea. Here I can see that only one character remains. Here's how to assign groups or parts of groups. I'm going to assign something to everyone in a particular sales district for this example. Required entries are the date, as always, and since we want to assign a group or partial group, a Y in that field. Lots of options for groups exist. Pick one and hit enter. The lucky winner here is District D. This is my confirmation that I'm doing it right, as everyone in District D is now assigned to take the quiz. In the event you wanted to exclude some of these folks, for example, you may want to exclude certain jobs or people from taking certain tests or quizzes, just put your cursor in the field where they're listed and space over them until they are gone, then hit enter. This concludes the presentation on how to use the QCTerm Quizzer. There are a few short and easy questions on the next slides to test your knowledge. I hope you were paying attention. Click the Start button to get started. Remember, no cell phones, no lifelines, no internet, and no phone a friends. Good luck.
Car hop, cars and ready to go. Fast and easy financing, right on the spot. Car hop, quality cars and trucks. Well, that's what we got. Car hop, they've all been inspected and certified. So drive today, the car hop way, and you'll be satisfied. Car hop, cars and ready to go. Cars and ready to go. Car hop, cars and ready to go. Fast and easy financing, right on the spot. Car hop, quality cars and trucks. Well, that's what we got. Car hop, they've all been inspected and certified.